Hi YouTube, and welcome to a review of the Omega and Rolex. What we have on the left is the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra in stainless steel, and on the right is the Rolex Datejust, also in stainless steel. Now these two watches are very similar, and except that the fact that the Omega on the left is 38.5 millimeters, while the Rolex on the right is 36 millimeters. Let's take a look at the Omega. The Omega has got a dial that is what Omega calls the thick design dial with vertical straps with wedged hour markers. In this case, it's made of a gunmetal color with diamonds at the edge with arrow-shaped minute and second hands, while the Rolex has opted for a more traditional dial with the baton hour markers and normal rectangular hands. Now both watches have got polished cases, but the Omega has opted for an alternate polished and satin finish case. In terms of the bezel, both watches have got domed bezels, but the Rolex's bezel is slightly more domed, whereas the Omega bezel is more flat in that respect. Right. Now let us take a look more closely at the watch's case. And this is what the case of the Omega and Rolex look like from the side. As you can see, the Omega's case has got a satin finish on the side, which alternates with a polished finish, whereas the Rolex has got a fully polished case, which you can see over here. In terms of the crown, you can see that the Omega's crown is shaped like a gear and is relatively large compared to the Rolex's crown, which is smaller in size. Right. Looking at the case this way, you can see that the Rolex's case looks to be a little slimmer than the Omega's, and will hence suit a wearer who is wearing it under long sleeve shirt, for example. Now let's take a look at the bracelet itself. In terms of the bracelet, the Omega's bracelet is roughly the same thickness as the Rolex, but the pieces itself is slightly shorter, whereas the Rolex's bracelet pieces are longer, and if I may say so, slightly not as thick as well. Now let us look at the clasp of the Rolex and Omega. I put them side by side so that you can have a good view at the. Now the Rolex's clasp is a traditional one-sided clasp and is relatively secure, as you can see, whereas Omega has opted for a double-sided opening clasp, which is openable by push pieces. Now both clasps are milled from solid blocks of stainless steel and relatively robust. Now let's take a look at the bracelet. As you can see, the Omega's bracelet, as I mentioned earlier, is slightly shorter, and there seems to be wider gaps between the bracelets itself, whereas the Rolex's bracelet seems to be tighter between the bracelets, hence there seems to be smaller gaps. And another key difference is that the Omega's bracelet is fully brushed, whereas for the Rolex's bracelet, as you can see, the center piece is polished. So that's another key difference. But they both share the same basic architecture, with screwed in pieces, if I may say so. And this is a new design feature for the Omega Seamaster. As you can see, the bracelet's pieces are screwed in, and making it easier for the owner to insert or remove the bracelet pieces. And that's all I have for you for the Omega versus Rolex. And I hope you have enjoyed this review, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.